Hi there, my name is Tessa Durham-Brooks. I'm a faculty member in the biology department at Doane University. And I have my colleague here, Rachel Burks, who will introduce herself. And we are going to tell you about an exciting program called DIVAS. It stands for the Digital Imaging and Vision Application in Science program. This is a one-year experience, and we'd like to tell you a little more about it. Rachel?
Hi, I'm Dr. Rachel Burks. I'm at American University. I'm a chemist, and so we bring different viewpoints, but what we have in common is DIVAS and image analysis. So we're really excited about the potential of you joining in our projects. So why is coding vital? Well, I will say it's not just for computer scientists, right? It is for everybody. And I found that out pretty late. I was already a postdoc when I realized I am going to have to learn to code. There were big bottlenecks in the work. And so just to save my own time, as well as to advance projects, that became a really important thing. And also what I learned is that coding brings a huge number of benefits. We're only going to talk about 6. One is coding ability gives new perspective on problem solving, which is absolutely critical. Whether you're a chemist, a biologist, a physicist, mathematician, environmental science, there are a huge range of problems to solve, and computational thinking really does assist us in coming up with new and powerful ways to solve some of the world's kind of preeminent problems. So that's right up there. Another big benefit is that coding absolutely offers career flexibility. There isn't one career out there in STEM that in some way doesn't rely on coding, right? Even if you're just saying, I want to be outdoors, working for natural resources, maybe making sure water quality is working. Well, guess what? You're going to need to do all your data analysis using computational tools. You're probably going to have to be doing some remote field work that's going to require computational devices, like all sorts of stuff. In my work, forensic chemistry, we use computing and coding all the time. It can be one line of code just to do a very particular task, or it can be quite involved. And I know that my colleague Tessa uses it all the time. But having that career flexibility of being able to change careers, move somewhere new, try something new, is just really a great privilege and opportunity. And speaking of that, there's always a demand, job-wise, for coding-related expertise, which again kind of feeds into the flexibility, but it puts you in the driver's seat of your career at every stage, which I think is what many of us really want. Another big one is that great earning potential. When you say that you've got coding experience in a variety of language, including Python, which we primarily use in DIVAS, right away, your income bracket goes way up in that, because they know, hey, this is an employee that also has this really critical skill set, and that potentially can help us acquire new opportunities. And last but not least is that learning to code is actually a fun bonding experience. Now, this last one probably came out of nowhere, but it's true, because I think the image is, and I'm sure Tessa would agree with me, the image is that coding is like solo pursuit. Maybe you're like in a dark basement somewhere, but that's not true. We code in teams, and some of the biggest projects, whether you're getting a rover onto Mars, whether you're exploring the deepest reaches of the sea, if you're doing human genome studies, these are all massive team endeavors. And while coding can be serious work, it can actually also be serious fun. And we really put that into our DIVAS project, because a huge portion of it is going to be team coding.
All right, so we wanted to share some real life examples of where coding is pervasive in different areas of science and medicine. And so this example here is showing precision medicine. So the future of medicine will be where someday you go into the doctor's office and they bring up a whole data set of different things they've collected about you. They might collect some more information, and then all of that will go into some sort of machine learning tool, most likely, that will make predictions about what the best treatments are for you or what you're most at risk for. And then that's going to determine, how you are treated by your physician. So our future physicians are going to need to be able to talk to computers and understand how those tools are built, and then also how to interpret the information coming out. And then you can apply that same idea to agriculture. So in ag, there's a lot of similar development where all of the different parts of a farming system are equipped with lots of different technology. And so this figure is showing drones that are monitoring the fields from above, and even the livestock and animals. All of the farming equipment has tons of sensors on it that help determine exactly how much fertilizer to apply to a particular plant, or to zap one weed, zap weeds individually on the field. There's all kinds of real-time data coming in that the farmer now is going to be monitoring to make decisions about how that operation is going to be run moving forward. So this project is really just an opportunity for you all, like Rachel said, in a team environment to learn about coding. And we do it in the context of real research, and we meet people who are doing these things in their everyday life.
So just to talk a bit about my research, because you'll often be joining groups of researchers at your home institution, is that my work deals a lot with digital image colorimetry, right? So I'm sure that I love to take photos of just pretty colors, pretty flowers, just fun art, right? But what color is that? And what can we do with that color space information? And in the sciences, we can use it to do colorimetry, which we usually use, say, an ultraviolet visible spectrophotometer for, but we can actually use our smartphones. There's a whole area of researchers that do that, myself included, and our DIVAS scholars. So one of our great projects that we worked on was actually the development of a fingerprinting technique that was visible in the UV range, this beautiful blue color. So one of our great DIVAS scholars worked on this as part of a project and developed it, and we actually got a fantastic paper out of it in the Journal of Forensic Sciences, which is one of our premier journals in my field, right? And DIVAS provided us with the skills and the expertise to do the important analytical work. The code we made freely available, and all of our students that are here listed on the paper got a publication. And for all of the students, it was their first scholastic paper, which is a great achievement. And I know, Tessa, that equal, if not better, work has come out of your lab.
So this is an example similar of a paper that came out from another project that DIVAS scholars were working on. I'm kind of interested in shape, so morphology, and I like to look at how shapes of living things change over time and space. And in particular, I like looking at roots of plants. So there's a lot of cool things happening in the soil. And in this technique, we actually brought together the morphology, so looking at the shape of the root over time. And on top of that, at the same time, we're looking at the molecules that root was releasing using colorimetry. And that was all in really collaboration with Rachel's lab. So that was kind of fun. And then working together across these different domains, students developed a way to overlay images of the exudates, these chemicals that were being produced, to overlay those on top of the images of the seedlings. So then we can track these molecules as they're getting made over time. And these are the messages that the roots send out to the microbes in the soil to form these really important relationships that are like crucial to soil health. It's kind of where all of the hot area of ag is right now. And so similarly, all of this work was published with students and even a high school student. And all of that with just that basic background that we learned in DIVAS, with basically, as we're going to show you, a 1-year experience, most of it concentrated in 5 weeks in the summer.
And of course, we're not the only ones that use image analysis. Image analysis is pivotal for so many scientific areas. Here's a recent example of some exemplary image analysis work for environmental impact. And this particular work was looking at, hey, could we maybe spot oil spills, which I know in my lifetime have had devastating environmental consequences, right? Can we spot them to fast, quick, easy using satellite images, right? So that we can mitigate these things before they really grow into even bigger disasters. So these are much bigger images than latent prints or maybe root structures. I mean, they're coming from space, right? And they're of huge areas. But if you read this paper, what you realize is that in areas of image analysis, we all come back to the common core. We're using images as data. We have to extract information from the images, and we have to do a bunch of fun statistics to say, hey, what do we know now? And how can we use this data to address a problem, to mitigate a problem, and to come up with innovative solutions to that problem? And that's really at the core of our technical DIVAS experience.
Okay, so here's an overview of our program structure. It starts this spring. So we would start with this spring semester with either a 1-credit seminar or independent study, just depending on what works for you at your institution. It's a very low entry point where we're really all just getting to know each other. We meet real coders out in the field. You do some of your own image journaling and thinking about the kinds of information you could get from that. And then you do a little bit of coding as well. And then we kick things off in the summer. We'll start in late May, and we will do a 1-week intensive coding workshop. So that's a 5-day boot camp. It's got a couple days of basic Python and then 3 days of image analysis tools. So you get a toolkit that you build in that 5 days. And then from there, we go into 2 pair programming projects, and that lasts for 4 weeks. So each one of those projects goes for 2 weeks. We throw one big problem at the whole cohort. So everybody in the DIVAS Alliance at that moment, we're all working together on one problem, and we divide out into pairs, and we all come with our own solutions for how to work on that problem. And then we come together, we do code reviews and learn from each other and see all of the different ways that that one problem could be solved. So we do that twice. And then if you are motivated to and you have the time, you can do a few weeks of independent research after that. And so that's something that we would work with you on with your institution to facilitate. And then that following fall, we all come back together for a capstone seminar where you will go back through all of that code and clean it up. You'll do some advanced things like we were talking about at the beginning, getting at some of those machine learning tools that might be used for some of those larger applications we were talking about. And then also doing some peer mentoring and helping as we get ready for that next cohort to come in.
I think another great thing about this entire process, if we look at this great photo of just some of the folks that have been involved in our DIVAS program, faculty and students, is that, again, it's a team effort, and we learn best in teams. And the fun thing I always find is that no matter if you're a chemist or a computer scientist or a biologist or environmental scientist, is everybody comes with a unique view, which in solving some of these grand challenges across STEM is what we need. And every view and every way you think about a problem and every fix that we try to come up with, it gives us another piece of the puzzle, and things that you thought, I never would have thought about that. That's the great part, right? That's the part that we really start integrating into the program. And so it's absolutely, we like to say that it's a team sport, right? It absolutely is. And the other great thing about it is, I really want to stress this, it is fully supported in that, you are a valuable member of the team. And so it is going to be a livable stipend for you in that time. And we are absolutely going to work with you and your home institution to find you a research placement, if, like Dr. Tessa Durham-Brooks said, is that if it works for you in that time space. And if you're already in a research group, this can be a great way to expand your skill set. You can reach out to your PI and say, hey, I have this opportunity, and here's exactly how I think it can help my research project. We have tons of DIVAS scholars that have been that way. They don't join either one of our group, but they join the bigger DIVAS community because DIVAS will be eminently useful for their projects. So if you think that's the case, go ahead and visit our site to find out more and complete that application.
And another thing to mention is that you'll be part of a network of students across the country. So we have members in our alliance now that are in Nebraska, here where Doan is, and then over in Washington, D.C., where Rachel is. And then also we have a partner at the University of Michigan. And so, yeah, we're excited to have that growing alliance too. So you have that opportunity to meet individuals and work with people from a variety of different places. And again, that's where the sweet spot is, where we all get to learn from each other in different ways. And also bring the problems to the table too. Yep, go ahead.
Sorry, that's where, the big projects are working. We both work on big, sometimes multinational projects with collaborators all over the world. And all of that's done virtually in big teams of all kinds of cross-disciplinary folks. And if you haven't had an opportunity to work on that kind of project, this is a way to do it, to get that entry point, to see how it's done. This is how science is actually done. In a community, in a team, supporting each other to come up with workable solutions to sometimes life's biggest challenges. So we hope that you'll join us.
All right, so please take a look at our website. If you go to this QR code, that'll take you right to our homepage. There's a link there to apply. We would love to see your application. Everybody is welcome, and the less coding you know, the better, honestly. So yeah, please come and join us.
Thanks so much.